it occurred to me while I was talking over here that people's ability to listen actually, like, they're not all equal. Now this, again, I'm not like, just because it came up with you and because I'm bringing it up here, I'm not trying to make you wrong or bad or anything like that. It just literally occurred to me, like, oh yeah, not everybody listens the same way, right? Like, you've run into some people that listen a certain way and then others that listen better or worse and whatnot. Yeah.
How do you listen? Because sometimes I really feel like I'm trying to listen, I feel like you're telling me that I'm not, and I get really like upset.
Yeah.
I really do, and I just don't understand sometimes. It feels like you're acting like I don't, and I'm genuinely trying.
Yeah, and this is why I try to, and I get it. I definitely have a very high standard, and then I definitely come from a Ralstonian school of, maybe there's a teaching flavor that's just like, you're fucking up. And it's not that I mean anything bad about your person or about you personally. It's just like, I call out what I see as, the listening is poor.
So how do you listen then?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think, and that's why I sort of brought it up. I wanted to open it up in a way, or do my best to open it up. It's like, if I can't listen, and again, it's like, I'm not, like, it's only because it's happening. It's not against you. It's more for your skills, or for anybody's skills that can't fucking listen or doesn't. You see, there it is again, right? Like, you just can't fucking listen, can you? It's harsh. Yeah, we're harsh sometimes, but try to stay true to, like, let's empower the person. Let's get your listening up, right? How do we do that? Excellent question. Especially if I'm coming from a place of, I don't know that I'm not, like, okay, backing up. There's shit you know, there's shit you don't know. There's like stuff that you know, and then there's stuff that you know that you don't know. And then there's this other stuff that you don't know. This is like courtesy of Ralston, courtesy of Landmark, this distinction. Sometimes people have shit going on, they don't realize they're not doing it. Like you're saying here, it sounds like it might be a case of, I'm trying to listen. What the fuck, man? Like, why the fuck are you telling me I can't listen? Like, I'm trying my hardest, and I get that because, for example, many times I'll be working with Peter and I'm like trying to relax. I am consciously working on being relaxed. And you know what he tells me? Relax. And I'm like, mother effing fucking fuck you, bro. Like, God, what? I was, what? You see? So now that's the first step. Say, if I'm coming from a place of, I have no idea, like, I'm trying my hardest, and then somebody says, you're not doing it to me. First step is realizing, wait a minute, I might not actually be listening as good as I thought. That's like stage 1. Stage 0 is everything's fine. My skill level is perfect. I'm listening 100% and everything's good. There's nothing to change, right? Tracking so far? So that, I would say that's stage 0. You got nothing going on and you don't even know, and nothing's going to change it. So stage 1 might be, I'm just making some stages up, okay? Stage 1 might be something like, somebody gets some feedback. Oh, it's actually possible I'm not listening. Now, how do we do it better? Realize that my listening isn't as good as it could be. And then start to put attention on that and start to notice. It's kind of like following little hints or clues, for example, where like when we were just working here and I was like, okay, I intentionally paused because I was like, all right, here's a moment where I can show something to you so that you can start to see how it works. Where I was like, okay, I put my body here. I'm like, now what did I say? And then I intentionally, in this case, made you remember what I said so that you could practice translating what I said into an actual experience in your body, because that's in the martial especially, that's how that works. You have to take my words. If I'm forward, I can't see the back of your neck or whatever, and then you have to go, wait a minute, he's talking about something out here, so I intentionally said, like, now, what did I say?
You said up.
Say it again.
You said up here. You didn't say forward over there, so I got confused by what you said.
Right, up here, and then I also gestured with my body. So you'd have to then take the words and then look out too at what's happening to my body, and then put together, he can't see the back of my neck because he's up here, and or where does seeing come from? It comes from the eyes. Can he see the back of my neck and be able to oh, no, he can't. Oh, that's what he means. He wants me to be able to see the back of his neck or whatever, and be able to make a connection between the spoken words and then the actions that need to be taken. So then, but that's not necessarily listening as far as I can tell. That's more putting the things together, but you use the words to inform the actions or to inform the understanding. So then when I say, and I'm not too clear myself, like when I say listen better, it's like pay close. Okay, so backing up, you got from 0, somebody gives you some feedback. Oh, I'm not doing it. You start to put attention on places where that happens, and then we'll move on from there. Yeah, you got something?
I'm just curious to maybe add a contribution. Like maybe listening is the ability to take verbal feedback and propagate it into body mechanics, and maybe as a high bar is Peter taking a few words and extrapolating it into whole domains of martial arts, and then kind of more what we're dealing with is taking some feedback and putting it into your body. And so it's the efficiency in which you can take some verbal feedback and transfer it into your understanding.
Yeah. That's pretty good. See, it's your ability to take what's said and turn it into an appropriate action is what I'm calling listening, and that takes a certain amount of attention to the details of what I'm saying, or what Peter's saying, or what anybody's saying when they're teaching, and then realizing that what they say should be have a direct correlation to what you do. And take it seriously, in a sense. Now, I'm not saying you're not taking it seriously. I'm just saying it's that I believe that's the attitude that needs to occur. For example, like the Sun Tzu example I use, the guy hired Sun Tzu to train up his harem so that they could be bodyguards. And so Sun Tzu comes in, first thing he said, all right, you, line everybody up. Didn't listen. Why do I say they didn't listen? Because they went tee hee 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 hee, blah blah blah, didn't line everybody up. It didn't happen. Tracking? So Sun Tzu, sword out, cuts the head off. Dead? All right, you, line everybody up. All right, you, go. See, that's an extreme example, kind of fucked up, but that's paying attention. See, so then I'm just going back to your question. You don't know you're doing it. You don't know that it's a problem. Somebody tells you it's a problem, then I start putting attention on that issue. Oh yeah, wow, he just showed me that he said something, I didn't hear it right, or I didn't understand what he was saying. Now, how do you do that? Well, you try harder. You put your attention on that, focus on that, get a sense of what's going on for you, in this case, it could be anybody, for you when you're not able to hear, or when somebody's speaking, it's okay, it says something about the way that I'm listening. So then I would put my attention on paying more attention and putting attention on what's being taught in a way that says, wait a minute, they're talking, he's trying to tell me something about what I have to do. And then use the words, obviously it's in English, but then make connections, like Mike was saying over here, quickly about those words to my body. Those words to the dynamic that's happening. Those words, if I say, make space between two bodies, you have to go, all right, fuck. 2 bodies, real quick, 2 bodies. What is space? Space is distance from body to body. Create more space. That means more space. Okay? Yeah, for example, and it's then I put my attention on a kind of listening that does that, instead of a kind of listening that is they say something and then I go, huh? You see, and then do one, put your attention on creating the one instead of the other, and improve that skill. And that's how you do it. Kind of like, it's like learning anything as far as I can tell. Like a boxing coach might come up to you and tell you, all right, man, when you're going to punch, I want you to guard up, step down, and throw your whole body into it. Now go. See? Step down, throw your whole body into it, go do it. Step down. Okay, what's he mean, step down? He means like step down. Okay, whole body. What's my whole body? My whole body is, well, that's not my whole body. So like I'm rapidly trying to figure out what he said and apply it to so what did they say? How do I apply it to what I'm doing? Whole body. Boom. Okay, was that good? Okay, no, do it better. So now I've listened to this feedback. I'm trying to take it to action. Yeah? That's how to improve that. Kind of the same, you improve your punch, you improve your listening, and you get better. Another aspect to listening is if you don't understand, ask questions. Hey, what did you mean by more distance, sir? Could you tell, whatever. Could you tell me what you mean? What direction do I need to go? Really? I thought I had the right distance. Or, I don't understand what you mean. Point my eyes, see the back of their neck. Like, what do you mean? So then we can that's called clarifying. See, this is another aspect. It's not necessarily the listening, but it helps. Yeah, make sense?
I think so.
Yeah, so like that's how to improve that. I'm just answering your question, like how do I improve? How do I get better at listening? Like I said, first realize that it's not happening. You might get some feedback and then intentionally be like, wait a minute, I'm not as good at this as that I thought. Get better. And that's how it goes. So my original point, so thank you for asking, and yeah, don't worry about taking it personally. It's like, I'm sure everybody in here has had some stuff where I've been like, hey, blah, 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 and you're like, fuck you, dude. I'm like, I get that. So, it's cool with me. Circling back to my original point, it occurred to me that some people listen not as well, and that I have trained people up to listen better. And what that means is they are able to learn faster. And I was like, oh yeah, of course. I just wanted to share that, really. It's like, if you train yourself, if you listen better, you'll learn more quickly. And I don't think people work on listening. You ever been in a martial arts school where they like work on, hey, do you know how you listen? Like, do you know like what that's really is going on when you listen to somebody? No, usually they just let them, or they might be like, hey, shut up, pay attention. So then people get that, they get on board and they focus in a certain way. But I think that's usually where it stops. I don't know. In here, I'm like, well, it's kind of like this and like this and like this. And you can do it better. And here's how. Expand it out. Okay? So I just wanted to share that. Again, don't take it personally. Because if there's a reaction, which it's easy to get reactive, I understand. I get plenty reactive when I get feedback from Peter or others. It's like there's a reaction that can occur. This is normal. Cool. There's my reaction. Now, what the fuck did they say? All right. Is that valuable? Is it empowering? Is what he's saying make sense? What's the truth of what they're saying? Does it work? Yeah, okay, I can change that. Or, fuck you, dude, I'm out. Like, this is bullshit, you see? And then you choose, of course. I'm just saying your ability to listen will have an impact on your ability to learn. And given this is a learning environment, I thought I would address that.